Hello everyone, how are you today? You are welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. This is Mrs. Bello, your favorite child educator. I dropped a video before this. That was my first video on YouTube. That one is on the benefit of teaching children house chores. You can also follow me on Facebook at Folashade Muftiat, Folashade Bello Oladiran. That's my YouTube page. Today we are going to be talking about developmental task. So who are going to benefit from these lessons? Parents, teachers at all levels, because we are talking about developmental tasks at all stages of life. Guardians, caregivers, and anybody alive. Yes, anybody alive. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to remember or recall the meaning of developmental task. You should also be able to give examples of developmental tasks at all stages of life. So what is developmental task? Developmental task refers to a specific skill. 1. Behavior, or you say achievements, that an individual is expected to have learned or mastered at a particular stage of life. What do I mean? If you see an infant holding a marker, just randomly holding a marker, you are not expecting that infant to write with it. Rather, you would expect that the infant should just hold it for a while and drop it. Because in your mind, you feel like, oh, this child doesn't know the use of this marker. That is because you are using your senses to identify that that is not a developmental task of an infant. An infant is not supposed to write. So that's what we are trying to learn today. The developmental task of a human being at every stages of life. So what are the examples of developmental task? We are going to discuss the examples of developmental task at different stages of life. We are going to start with the infancy or early childhood. That is from 0 to 6 years. So what are the expectations of those kind of children? The first one is that the first thing you should have in mind is that every developmental task, there are ages that everybody should start learning it, or every human being is supposed to be showcasing it. So an infant learns to walk and talk. And when I say talking, I don't mean a formal way of speaking. It might be random. Blah, blah, bobo, coco, yeah. They start learning from that. And you see that the way children speak and walk differs from infants through adulthood. Yeah, through early childhood, rather. So the way they speak, they start speaking randomly. Before you know, they start making sense with words, connecting words together to form sentences. Then what we now have as communication as adults. So from 0 to 6 years, a child is learning to walk and talk. So the child is also learning to eat solid food. Yeah, it's also part of the developmental task of infancy through early childhood. Another one is that the child is able to differentiate between right and wrong. How does a child do that? A child is sitting with you while you are eating, and the child just suddenly dips his or her hands inside your plate of food. Then you tell the child, no, don't do that. Stop doing that, it's not right. What are you trying to inculcate? You are trying to let that child know that when someone is eating, you don't dip your hands into the person's food. And if you must do, you have to wash your hands properly. So you tell the child, go and wash your hands. You don't just eat like that. Then sometimes, unconsciously, you are teaching the child morals. Sometimes, when you give children book and pen, or you just sit down randomly, they pick a book and pen and they start writing. They might pick a book that they are not supposed to scribble on, like your own score sheet or your document at work that you have brought home. You might just pick it up and start scribbling on it. Then you say, no. What are you trying to imbibe in that child? You're trying to explain to that child that this is not a right thing. Yeah, you're trying to do the right thing, but you're doing it the wrong way. So, unconsciously, you are teaching the child morals. Yeah. So, at that stage, the child begins to develop basic trust. And infants generally, when they are growing up, especially when they get to the age of 6 months to like 1 year, thereabouts, they begin to run away from strangers. If it is not my mom, you cannot carry me. Once you pick them up, they look at the face and they shout, no, I don't want you. They start crying. Then they start looking, and immediately they see someone that they are familiar with, like a parent or a sibling, they keep quiet. That you can easily tell that this child is not running away from you because of the way you look, because the child will keep quiet even though you are still in the environment, but the child will cry because you picked him up. That is because he has not developed trust with you. But when the child grows to a certain stage, like let's say 2 years, that's when the child starts going to school, or 3 years, you can notice that the child is able to make new friends. So it starts adapting to familiar faces that is outside the home. In that case, the child is developing trust. Yes. That's it about the developmental times of infancy and early childhood. So let's move to the developmental task of middle childhood, which is from the ages of 6 to 12 years. At this age, children learn to get along with their age mates. Yes, they are already in school. This is school age, so they try to get along with their age mates, their school, their classmates, and they tend to play with their age mates more often. So they learn basic academic skills such as writing, reading, and arithmetics. These children can, when you teach them simple arithmetic, they can grasp because that's the stage of learning it. We can't teach infant arithmetic. So you teach arithmetic to only those children that are in the middle childhood phase. So they develop physical skills for games. Physical skills like running, they start thinking in such a way that when you give them things that are direct, they are able to understand, okay, once it is direct, when you go this way, you climb first, you thought, you jump, then you roll over. It's very direct, so they just imitate and they do it. You see that they are able to practice physical skills, and they are able to play simple games. They also develop sense of personal competence. So let's move to the adolescence. So the stages of adolescence is from 13 to 18 years. Even though different people with their different age range. So we have seen different scholars giving different age ranges for these stages of life. So at adolescent stage, adolescents tend to develop sense of identity. They begin to know that, yes, I am a female. I will menstruate at a particular age, even if I've not started. It is part of living. You don't have to explain what menstruation is to such children. You know what it is. Then I'll start seeing physical changes in my body. They start developing mature relationship. When I talk of mature relationship, I'm talking of they start having feelings for one another. Like it's easy for them they will not stop loving their parents, but they've been loving their parents. My daddy, it has been my daddy, my mommy, my siblings. Then they start moving out of the house. They start creating feelings, having crush on classmates, friends, neighbors. So it is a normal phase. So they start preparing for a career. At this stage, when you ask your child, what do you want to become in future? Because they still have future. Then they will tell you, if they were telling you, I want to be a doctor or I want to be a nurse before, then you start hearing things like, I want to be a lab scientist. Because now or you hear, I want to be an ophthalmologist, or I want to be a pediatrician. Because now they've explored. They know that being a doctor has different phase. So anyone you want, it is not just, I'm a doctor. Oh, I want to be a community doctor. They can differentiate. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer. I want to be a preschool teacher. They will categorize what they want to be for you in such a way that you are able to understand. So that is what is preparing them for a career. The next stage is the early adulthood stage, which is from 19 to 30 years. At this stage, an individual has started selecting mates. And if you notice very well, this is where most breakups usually happen. Because this is where you start having, this is what I want my mate to have. This is how I want my mate to be. So most people, if they are having a relationship before 19 years, they tend to break up. They move into another relationship because now, I will not say their taste buds are different, but you say that they have started having a different perception of themselves and other people. So this is a stage of starting a family too. So they start managing a home in such a way that they even surprise themselves that, oh, so I can do this, I can be a mommy, I can be a daddy, I can take care of the house. And they also begin an occupation at this stage. Let's move to the middle adulthood stage, which is from 30 to 60 years. And that is where I belong. So I can tell you for sure that these developmental tasks are so real and relatable. The first one is helping teenage children become responsible adults. I'm so responsible for this. When I see young children that are misbehaving, I used to be like, don't you know you don't really have much time in this world? You're not supposed to be doing this, you're not supposed to be doing that. This is what you're supposed to be doing. I become so emotional, and sometimes I try to explain to them that there are some things that we did not know or nobody informed us at this stage. And when I see children, especially teenagers, behaving in a random manner, I just feel like you should have focus by now, you should behave well, then just be of good behavior, do things that your parents will be proud of. Don't think you've seen it all in life, because you've not even seen anything at all. So at this stage, middle adults tend to help teenage children become responsible adults. They are also adjusted to physical changes of middle age. Yes, middle age is not for the weak. You begin to adjust to physical changes, like if you have started having children, this is time of changes in your entire body, in your entire mentality, in your entire activities of life generally. So you begin to become responsible, even if you're not responsible before, but because of your children, you want to be a responsible parent, you want to be there for them at all times, you want to be the best adult in their lives. So you begin to adjust to physical changes of middle age. Like now, you cannot even grow taller. The only thing is you start exercising to keep fit so that you will not become old at a young age. So you start achieving adult civic and social relationship and responsibilities. What do I mean by that? These are the people that you see, people between the ages of 30 to 60 years. They are the ones you see very active in protests. You see, we cannot take that. We cannot do that. Academic staff cannot be on strike for 3 years and the government is not doing anything about it. We cannot be doing this, we cannot be doing that. Our salaries is too small. We cannot even cater for our own personal needs. Not to talk of helping our family. This, that, and that. It is this age that you see people that are so energetic and they want to perform in every civil responsibilities. They are out to vote and they will stand there they will cast their vote and stand there until all the ballot paper has been counted, until they've entered or discussed and that. And they will even sit in front of their TV to listen to the announcement of the results. Yeah. So the next phase is the late adulthood, which is the final phase of life. It is from 60 years till death. Yeah. This is an age of retirement. So it is not easy. Adults at this stage tend to adjust to the decreasing physical strength and health. Their health and strength begin to diminish, and they try to adjust to it in such a way that they can make a living. So they are adjusting to their retirement age. Somebody that has been going to work every day before is now sitting at home all day. Then things that they don't even think about before, they start reflecting on life. Oh, at this age of my life, oh, when I was 32 years, I should have done this. Oh, when I was 27 years, this is what I should have done better. Maybe if I'd done that, I will not be in this situation by now. So this is a stage of developing a sense of life satisfaction. I've worked all my life, and now this is when I want to reap the fruit of my labor. All my investment, this is when I want to start enjoying it. Oh, I cannot be jumping about like I was young. I just want to enjoy my life and focus on my grandchildren or great-grandchildren, and try to be closer to God. So let's say a prayer to our retirees, May they not know a better yesterday, especially those in Nigeria. I pray that they shouldn't know a better yesterday, because one day I'll also become a retiree. Amen. So if you have enjoyed this video or you've learned a thing or two, let me know in the comment section. If you want to add to what I've said now, drop it in the comments. Let me know your opinion on this. Let me see how much you've learned, and let me see how I did. If I've done it in a good way that you like, let me know. If I've done something that you don't like, let me know. Yes, I'm working on getting a microphone because some people complain about my voice, and I'm trying to get a microphone. I don't think the problem is on the phone, but in a situation like this, that I'm the only one, the echo is making it sound somehow that some people are not getting the real content. So I'm getting a mic. I've ordered for it. It hasn't arrived, but pending that time, I'll be using my phone like that. And I hope this video is beneficial. Share it to educational platforms that you know. Share it to teachers, parents. Share it everywhere, on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. Just share it and make sure it reaches those that need it the most. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I told you my name is Bola Shadebilo Oladiran on Facebook. Follow me. House of Shadeola on Instagram. Mrs. Bello, the Child Educator, is my page on Facebook. Follow me and see you next time. Bye.